Hi again. We're going to continue on product life cycle or the new product development. And we've reached to consider sustainability when we offer a new product to the market. And sustainability using resources in ways that don't harm ecological system that support the human existence. So we need to consider the environment and being safe. And we did consider three things. One is the cradle to grave assessment. This is the life cycle assessment, end of life programs, and the three R's: reduction, reuse, and recycle. All right, starting with the first one, cradle to grave assessment, or also called life cycle assessment, the assessment of the environmental impact of a product or service throughout its useful life. Things that we need to consider focus on factors such as the global warming, smog formation, oxygen depletion, and a solid waste generation. The LCA procedures are part of the ISO 14,000 environmental management procedure. So that's one of the government, one of the things that they did to force the organization is to follow the ISO 14,000 standards to help making these organization more environmental friendly and reduce the harm of the production. Now, in terms of reducing the cost, this is the second thing, or another practice is the three R's. The first R is the reduce, which is we need to look into the value examination of parts and material used in that product. And we need to ask a few questions. Does it have a value? Can we eliminate that part in particular? Are these alternative sources for the item? Could another material, part, or service be used instead? Can two or more parts be combined? Can specifications be less stringent to save time and money? Do suppliers or providers have suggestions for improvements? Can packaging be improved or made less costly? So these are questions that will help you to analyze the value for your product and helpfully will help you to reduce the cost and material. And that's the goal for the first R. The second R is to reuse or remanufacture. Refurbishing, as you know, this is a common thing that we see in the market, refurbished products, where refurbishing used product by replacing worn out or defective components, just replace that part, can be performed by the original manufacturer or another company. Reasons to remanufacture. Why we need to do remanufacture? Because remanufacturing product will help you to reduce the total cost for up to 50% of the new product. Also, the process requires mostly unskilled or semi-skilled workers, so that would be also less expensive. Also, the third point why we need to remanufacture is, or refurbish, basically the global market. So the European lawmakers are increasingly requiring manufacturers to test back requiring manufacturers to take back their product, the used product, for recycling. And another thing we consider when we remanufacture or reuse the product, something called design for disassembly. Designing a product that designing a product where the product can be easily taken apart, The third R about the environmental practices is the recycling. And recycling, what you want to do is recovering materials for future use, applies to manufactured parts, also applies to materials used during production. Why we need to do recycling? Because we need to, first of all, save some money. Second, we need to remove any environmental concerns and meet some of the environmental regulations. Companies doing business in European Union now these days must show the specified proportion of their products that are recycled. And design for recycling is another concept that we start seeing these days, which is a product design that takes into account the ability to disassemble and use product to recover the recyclable part. So we need to, hopefully we could recycle the whole product, but if not possible, maybe we could recycle a certain part of the product. So that's all about the sustainability and product development. Again, we need to consider the 3 R's: the reduce, the reuse or remanufacturing or refurbished, and the 3rd R would be the recycle. And that would be hopefully reducing the environment. To keep that in mind. Well, now we're going to move on to the next part of this presentation, which is about the product life cycle and the phases, the 5 phases, the 5 stages for product development cycle. I'll see you in another video.